Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Deutz Fahrm. And as you can see, we have a little bit of an issue here. I got a notification as I was just finishing seeding the last field saying that our worker had encountered an object that was blocking its path. And this is the problem that we were talking about a couple of episodes ago, where if the gap is too big, it isn't big enough, it just automatically starts working onto the next field. This I planned to just leave as grass, and he's just gone ahead and immediately just started chewing it up because I started cultivating in the wrong position. I should have started him at this end of the field, not that end, to avoid that issue. So I'm going to have to replant this with grass, but he has done here. I think that's all we need him for. So let's take this back to the farm. Nothing else left to cultivate, so we can get this cleaned off, put away, and we can also clean and put away the plough as well. Still got a fair few fields left to plant. We've got field 8, 13 and 16 left to plant. I think I might change up the crops for those ones, or at least for 12 and 13. I think 8 will probably stick with soybean. I might do canola on the other two fields. So which way is the plough facing? That way. Right, so don't know if I can connect it behind the cultivator. I know I can connect it in front of the cultivator. Oh no, I can. Excellent. So this way I can carry them both back and put them both back at the same time. Nice, good spray down. Get rid of all that mud. It's taking its time to clean. There we go. And that's done. Get at an angle, I can hopefully get the tractor at the same time as the cultivator here. That wheel seems to keep spinning. It never seems to stop. It's like there's a hamster trapped inside there that just doesn't know when to quit. Go, we have a nice clean agro star. Of course, you know, it won't stay that way for very long. It'll get dirty again pretty quickly. I think we might possibly be dragging on the ground. Certainly a weight issue. There we are, just dragging ever so slightly. You can see how much it's leaning back from the weight of the cultivator and the plough. Drop the plough in first. Hopefully it won't fall over. There we go. That's good. Drop the cultivator in. Now we can head back, park this up under the barn. Still got that bale to collect. I keep forgetting to move that. We'll do that once we finish the seeding. There we go. So this is left exactly where it was before. Let's fold that up. Engine on. Get soybean down on this field as well. So we've got a nice big soybean crop. Because if we're going to make some money, we're going to need a crop that's going to give us a lot of good return, and that is going to be the crop for us. Guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn it on. There we go. That's better. Now we can whiz along. Ooh! I got a little bit too far off the edge there. It just stopped in its tracks. And again. The border on this field is really, really touchy. You try and do any kind of overlap on that and you're not paying attention, you will just ruin it. So that's just something for you guys to be wary of if you're working away on this field, is just make sure you don't overlap just too much, or you could end up with just little chunks of your field that you don't actually put any seed down on. Doesn't look like it's actually fertilised that little strip that we put down there either for some reason. I don't know why. Very odd. You can see how quickly we're just working our way through these fields here, turning them over like they're nothing at all. Now they are pretty small, and when you've got a 6 metre working width, you can just make your way through them really quite quickly. But it does look as though you have to be careful with exactly when you lift the seeder on this. It does seem to be a little bit temperamental when it comes to putting down the fertilizer as well. So you can see these little light patches where seed has gone in but the fertilizer hasn't. And then as we go back, it seems to actually apply the fertilizer when we go over it a second time. I think I'm just going to turn that into grass. Just there, just so that, you know, if we have a crop there, we're almost certainly going to end up destroying it, you know, if we use it as a plantable field. It's kind of free land, you know, we've got spuds on it at the moment. It's not a proper field in the respect that it's not a numbered field, but it is a field that we can work on. There again, look, you see, just that little thin piece on the edge of the field hasn't been fertilised. Very odd. So it looks like we might be lifting the cultivator or the seeder just a fraction too soon. Don't really have much of a choice at this end of the field here. I don't want to drive into the spuds. So we're going to need to top up the seed, I think, because we are running a little bit low. We could go back to the farm, but you know, it's probably a little bit quicker to just head to the store just here. I'll just top that seed level up. You can see it going up there. And oops. Close the lid. There we go. And we want to change the seed type. This will plant everything as well. That's the other great thing about this. We can plant corn and beets and sunflowers with this seeder, as well as the regular grains as well. That's why it's such a really useful little seeder. So we don't need to buy a separate seeder to be able to plant corn, which means we can use this to plant our chaffing crop. Let's make our way up here and do our hidden field first. Go. And this is a decent length field, so I'm going to try our ridge markers out on this one. Turn on the seeder this time, because it does help. And the ridge marker doesn't seem to be working very well. Has left the line, but it's not the clearest or easiest to see. You see, it's kind of just bouncing. Ah, there we go. Now we got a proper ridge mark being made, but it seems if this is not quite in the right position, then it really, really struggles. A little bit temperamental there. Oops. Raise that up. Maybe it's an elevation thing, I don't know. Maybe it's just sitting at the wrong angle on this particular tractor. Maybe a different tractor, a slightly larger, more powerful tractor, wouldn't have that issue. It's like it's trying to put the ridge down but can't quite manage it. It doesn't quite have enough force pushing it into the ground to do it. Very odd. I noticed that as well on Estancia Lapacho. I thought there was just an issue with the soil texture or the soil colour scheme, making it very difficult to see the ridges, but maybe it was just something to do with the equipment. You see there, now we have a proper ridge showing. So it does kind of work, but only when it wants to. Which is, you know, not that helpful, really, when you think about it. You kind of want these to work all the time. And it's not like we can refund the ridge marker money. You know, we can take the ridge markers off, but we still own them. We still paid for them, so they're always going to be there. I think we kind of could have not bothered with the ridge markers, really, and we would have been fine. So maybe we wasted a little bit of extra cash. I think it was only, what, 1,000, 2,000 it was to buy the ridge marker, so we weren't, wasn't a huge waste of money. It's not like the extra money we had to spend to add the fertilising into this. But I think it's just going to be quicker and easier to just eyeball it like this. Rather than relying on ridge markers that don't actually lay ridges. But this is the first time I've really used this seeder since it was actually released, and that was back when the golden days of farming came out. It came out around the same time as that, even if not the same day. It was certainly within that kind of time period. Because I remember once I'd done my map tour for the golden days and got that up on the channel, I did do a little bit of extended play testing to see whether or not it would be something I felt comfortable doing a let's play on, and in the end I chose not to. I just couldn't get on with the map. But this was one of the pieces of equipment that I was testing out on that map to see whether or not this would be suitable to use on that farm. And it was I was kind of still playing around with the Massey pack, because I was looking at that as a potential replacement for our failed run on Oldstream. And it was just a little bit too big and a little bit too heavy for the old school Massey tractors. Plus, no front hitch on those tractors, just a weight attachment option. so we couldn't really use the fertilizing version. We would have needed a different tractor that had a front hitch, which obviously was a bit of a problem using some of the Massey gear, so it kind of ruled that out at that point. I was experimenting with the Kuckerling jockey at the same time. You see, we've used up half a seed tank already. Canola just uses up so much. I forgot to turn the damn thing on again. I will remember to do that. But we're burning through the seed really quickly. I don't know what it is about why canola just eats through seed so quickly compared to pretty much all the other grains. And canola was the cash crop of farming sim 15. This time out, it's soybean, hands down. It is the cash crop to have. Yes, it's the lowest yield crop, but unless you get a great demand, soybean is always going to be the best crop when it comes to selling, because you'll always get a really good price. And whereas you can work a field and maybe get, say, 10,000 litres of soybean, which might be worth, let's say, 1,500 per 1,000 litres. That's a nice little income there. Yeah, it's not a huge amount, but it's a nice, decent little amount. For the same size field, you might get, say, 30,000 litres of, say, wheat or barley, and a price that's 500. So triple the price, triple the volume, a third of the price, kind of thing. So it should balance out, right? Well, yes and no. If you only have the ability to, if you don't have the ability to make very large tips in one go, if you've only got, say, a 10,000 litre trailer capacity, then every single trip after your first one, the price goes down and down and down. So by the time you've sold all of your wheat, the price has dropped quite significantly from the first tip to the last tip. So you're not going to get a consistent price throughout the whole sort of yield off your field, whereas with soybean you're more likely to, because it's a lower yield and a higher price. It's going to be much easier to transport that yield to sell. It's less likely that you're going to have to make multiple trips, and we are out of seed already. Didn't take long. It's less likely you're going to have to make multiple trips, which means all, if not most, if not all of your crop is going to sell at that better price, as opposed to a continually decreasing price. But for some reason, canola just eats through so much seed. I really don't understand why it goes down so fast this time around. It is sort of insanely fast how quickly it just runs out. There we go. Refill the seeder. This is our last field, I think, as well. Oh, we've got to replant that bit of grass as well. I think this can actually plant grass. Yes, it can. Make sure I get back onto canola. I want to sort of end up planting the wrong crop halfway through a field. That would not be good. Remember to turn it on this time. I'm learning. I'm getting used to it. Just left a little patch there. Let's fill that in. There we go. You can see how quickly we are working our way through these fields. I mean, normally I don't like to do seeding across multiple episodes, but the number of fields that we've been able to plant in 1.5 episodes is pretty good, and it's because we have this 6 meter working width. There's no way we would be anywhere near done using the Accord. So it was a pricey upgrade, but I think it was a worthwhile upgrade. And it's the only seeder we're going to ever need on this farm as well, unless the map gets updated and we decide to do sugarcane, which, in all honesty, I'm not doing sugarcane on this map. Even if it does get the update, this just isn't the right map for sugarcane. Yeah, there's just no space for, you know, the equipment that we would need. I'd rather keep this just standard rural agriculture. Leave the sugarcane for a different Let's Play series. I will add it to American Midwest if when American Midwest is going to get an update, because it's Houdat Ranch, and that is going through testing right now for a sugarcane update. So when that map gets updated and when the time is right, I will add sugarcane onto that farm, and I may well add it onto Mustang Valley for Big Bud Farm as well. But those are probably the only two of my Let's Plays that I'll do sugarcane on. I can't see myself doing it on the West Coast. May possibly do it on the Valley of the Old Farm if we do something on that map. Possibly, probably not. And certainly not going to be doing it on this one. So, there we go. Seeding is complete. So now we just need to find somewhere to store this. I think I might use the area where our little fertilizer spreader is. There might be space next to that. I mean, it could possibly go in there. It might fit. Yeah, it might still fit in there. We'll try. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a clean first, though. A little bit of dirt left on these wheels here. These little disc blades. Yeah, that looks pretty clean now. A little bit of mud left on the Fortis. There we go. Yes, it will clear. We have got the right height. There we go. And then the tank, I'll just have to drop in there, I think, just because there isn't really much clearance. If I stick it in front of the other seeder, it's likely to get knocked, so we'll leave it there. Right, before I forget, let's go grab that loose bale. I'm going to need my bale spikes and my front loader fork for that. This is also a chance for you to see where I've actually stored some bales. this bumpy track here. I believe I just completely forgot about that bale for nearly 3 episodes. There we go. Now that that's spiked, make our way along here. Need to just fill in that little bit of grass just there as well. So we've got a couple of places. I put the seeder away too soon, haven't I? Forgot about the grass that needs to be repaired. Make our way around here. So you can see over here, got a few silage bales. It's got 4 silage bales in there and a load of straw bales, and then around here in this shed, this is where my grass bales and my hay bales are. So you can see I've got 2 hay bales, and then this is grass bale number 2. So if I drop this down here, throat, sorry about that. Right angle, spike it, there we go, lift. This is the other reason why I went with this. The forks are a little bit wider, the spikes are a little bit further apart, so that means I can actually pick up 2 bales on these forks at the same time. Just is going to make for easier kind of placement of bales going forward. Plus I can fold them up and then push them straight. So there we go. 2 grass bales, 2 hay bales in storage just over there. See, we will build those supplies up a little bit more once grass starts to grow back again. And then we've got plenty of straw bales. That's not going to be an issue, and we've got some silage bales as well. So enough stuff to keep our animals ticking over for a little while at least. And then in here, I think I've still got some mix left in here. Yes, a little bit of TMR still left in the mixer just there as well. So I'm on the front forks again, aren't I? I keep them folded out like this because it just makes them a little bit more stable when I put them up on the pallet up here. There we go, and now I can just drop this down beneath it. Excellent. And we'll go put the Fortis back in the shed. There we go. So, let's take a look at our crop overview page. If we can get to it. Went the wrong way. There we go. So, you can see all of our fields now have some fertiliser on them. Some have got more bits. Oh, did we plant on field 22? No, we didn't. We forgot to plant field 22. So, we'll go and do that. And that one we'll do with canola as well, I guess. That'll be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 fields of soybean, and then 1, 2, 3 fields of canola. Yeah, that'll work. So, alright, back into the Fortis. And we've got that grass that needs to be done as well. So, we can get that done at the same time. So let's collect our tank. There we go. Make our way out. It's a really high detail mod, this cedar. Really, really nice. Very pretty mod. So let's change to grass. There we go. Just do this little bit of repair just here. It's literally just a quick tuft. There we go. And there you can see we didn't rip anything else up or plant anything else. It's definitely not a no-till cedar. And I actually want to be crossing just here rather than making my way all the way up and then back down again through the stream. Nothing coming. Make our way down here, and then we'll repair that patch of grass. So this will take a little while to grow in, but once it's done, that'll be back to normal. Oops. There we go. This is quite a steep hill as well. Look at the incline we're on there. There we go. Just not 100% convinced we definitely got the entire edge on the final bit, so you can see we certainly didn't get the back bit. There we go. Excellent. So now let's turn that off. Don't need to fold it, just need to lift it. Let's change the seed, and we're going to do canola here, aren't we? I just went past it. There we go. There's that little frame drop again. Very quickly whiz up and down this field. Struggling a little bit for horsepower up here. That's just the incline rather than the power requirement lacking. Yeah, we've got more than enough horsepower to pull this cedar. It's just because the incline is so steep, and it's the weight of the cedar more than anything else on that incline. There we go. It's going to take us no time at all to seed this field. Go. That's half of it done. And then once I've done this, we'll get the equipment cleaned and put away again. We'll swap into the AgroStar and we'll go start chopping down some trees. Also need to make sure that I've got plant growth turned back on as well, so that our crops can start to grow in. So I think it might be turned off right now. And we're running at normal time, so it's a little hard to tell. Damn it, it's got a little thin patch there that we missed. There we go. A little dark spot was a dead giveaway. And the final pass. Excellent stuff. I wonder. I was wondering if we could actually drive through the stream. It looks a little bit steep. In real life, I think we would do some serious damage if we tried to drive through there. So we will take the road. We won't go cross country. We'll save that for spin tyres. Just ploughing through rivers and going where we're not supposed to, kind of thing. Very tight roads. I actually quite like driving on roads like this. There's some real character to them. And I love this bridge entrance. Right. This is clean enough to put away. We only used it for a brief moment. I can't be bothered to excuse me, I can't be bothered to wash it again before putting it away. It's not really that dirty, so oops, it's a little bit violent putting it down there. Let's lower it and then disconnect it. There we go. Stop it bouncing. There's the tank. Excellent stuff. So, let's get into the AgroStar. We're going to need our trailer, which is hiding around the corner in its little alcove resting place. There we go. Now we need to make our way up to that little building with the trees. Cut through the fields. Here we are. This is where we need to be. I think I might keep that tree right on the edge there. But the ones that we are... Oops. Caught on the fence. The ones that we are definitely going to have to get rid of. This tree here. this tree here. Maybe that tree. I mean, definitely those two. I think actually if we just keep this section here as apple trees, and then keep that tree there, and that one there by the entrance. Maybe put a tree there, but nah, I think we'll leave that area. So we just plant them in this section, this side of the road here. That also limits how many we can put down, so we don't go overboard. Got a nice little setup here. We could even store manure in here, and maybe a water trailer just here, so that we've got all the supplies that we need to just pop over and top up our trees. It works out quite nicely. So we're going to make it a bit of a short episode here. We're going to call it just here, and then we'll do our trees at the start of the next episode. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and when we come back we shall do some lumberjacking, which will be very soon.